Good afternoon. When I was growing up, my favorite movie was a movie many of you have seen before, and that movie is called The Lion King. Now, my favorite part of this movie was when Timon and Pumbaa, who are a meerkat and a warthog, in case you're not familiar, they explain to the main character Simba about how their lifestyle is based off of this one phrase, and that phrase is Hakuna Matata. Now, Hakuna Matata is actually a Swahili phrase that can be literally translated into no worries. Now, Timon and Pumbaa go on to explain how their lives revolve around this phrase and how they don't worry about anything. Now, many people could see that as laziness, but to be fair, it could not be farther from laziness when looked into. To me, it simply means accepting the fact that there are things in life that we can't change no matter how hard we try, and that we have to learn how to roll with the proverbial punches of life. Now, this is obviously from a Disney movie and is thus uber simplified, but it has some serious merit. Now, people put too much stress on themselves from day one on knowing what they're going to be doing with their lives and what they live their lives for. Now, after extensive thinking about this prompt for quite a while, and thinking about what do I live for, why am I here, what am I trying to accomplish, all I could think of was the fact that I don't know, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I live in, not the moment, but I live in a way that whatever is thrown at me is accepted and becomes part of my life. Now, throughout my life, high school, college, right now, I never knew what was going to come next. When I was trying to pick out schools, I didn't know where I was going, and I didn't know what major I was going to be once I got there. And even now, I still don't know what I'm going to do for a career, as despite the fact that I have an idea. Some people, a lot of my friends in high school for instance, they knew what they were going to do from day one. They picked a career path and they followed it completely rigidly. And I'll take an example as pharmacists. A lot of my friends from high school said, I'm going to be a pharmacist. I'm going to go to URI, the University of Rhode Island. I'm going to join this fraternity. I'm going to take these classes, this and this internship, work at a CVS, and I will be a pharmacist. Now, the thing I noticed with these friends of mine is that just recently, this summer and this fall, a lot of them are starting to realize that they don't want to be pharmacists. They wake up one morning and realize they've been following this path that has led them to a dead end, or a job that they would be miserable doing their entire lives. And because they ignored everything else and they had tunnel vision their entire lives, they've wasted this time that they could have spent finding things that would have actually made them happy. When you live with a plan like this, you A, miss things that the world has to offer, and B, any bump in the road can completely take you off course and can send you careening into not knowing what you're going to do next. But the way I've been living, I've experienced innumerable bumps on my road to where I am today, and not one has crippled me. Not one has put me in a spot where I didn't know what I was going to do next, or even set me back more than a day, because I have taken every effort to live life with adaptability, in the sense that whatever happens, I can deal with. Now, people not knowing what they're going to do can be dangerous, and it can be scary, but it allows you to take advantage of all the opportunities that are set before you. People with plans that are set in stone ignore things that can be thrown into their laps by life. The phrase, stop and smell the roses, really works with this philosophy because it shows that if you are too focused on where you're going and ignore how you get there, then it's going to be an empty journey and you're going to arrive no different than when you left. Now, the girl of your dreams that you're going to marry could be in some pottery class that you would never take because, hey, I'm going to be a pharmacist. What do I need to learn how to make a pot for? Plans are just unreliable. They're good to have, but you cannot completely rely on them. Take my father, for instance, who was a musician for years, went to college for music therapy, and became an optical engineer and now works at an energy conservation company. The job he has right now, he couldn't be happier with it, but he never would have gotten there had he not taken his friend up on the chance one day that he said, hey, let's take a look at this company. And he did, and he couldn't be happier. The social pressure to know what one is doing in life is very dangerous these days, and it's absurd. It leads people to make rash choices early on that will affect their lives for years to come. Take the story of my best friend in high school, who's a girl named Coraline. She called me crying one night, crying her eyes out, because she was 2 weeks into her freshman year of college and didn't know what she wanted to do with her life. All I could think of when she told me this was how absurd it is that this girl who is in her first semester of freshman year, she's just started college, and she's completely a mess because she doesn't know what she's going to do for the rest of her life. And the absurdity of that is that people believe that to be happy or to be successful, you have to conform to this mold of knowing exactly what you're doing and exactly how you're going to get there by the time you're a junior in high school. And I can't live that way. In short, there's nothing wrong with not knowing what to expect next, so long as one can have the ability and preparedness within themselves to accept setbacks, take risks, and to live life with an open mind and an open heart. And I'd like to end with an Irish blessing that my grandmother has been telling me since I was a baby. And that is, may God grant us the serenity to accept that which we cannot change, the courage to change that which we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you.